All right, so standing by to go live to Nigeria. Well, listen, as I said earlier, and as you know very well, we were supposed to be in Nigeria today. But here we are in Nigeria, in Jamaica, right? So that the flight to Nigeria has been rescheduled. And we're going to go live to Nigeria to speak with His Excellency, Mr. Esmond Reid, who is the Jamaica's High Commissioner to Nigeria, and Elizabeth Agbola, who is a British Nigerian and founder of the travel company Nigerians Travel Tour. Good morning or good afternoon, Ambassador. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to you, Elizabeth.
Good afternoon, Kabu. Good afternoon, Kabu.
All right, you're loud and clear. We're hearing you great. And you are in Nigeria. We were supposed to be together today, but here we are. We're on the phone lines and you're in Nigeria. We can't say that we're not jealous. So we might just put that out there. All right. All right. So Ambassador, I start with you. This was and is an ambitious venture. It was a groundbreaking venture. It was all wrapped up, done. The flights were booked. The flight was booked. It was full from Nigeria, that we know, and it was. We don't know how many people from Jamaica, but we know that we had people coming in from Jamaica. This was all done. There were people at the airport in Lagos. There were people on their way to Montego Bay at the airport here in Jamaica. We got our visas. We got our COVID tests. We got our insurance. We did all that we needed to do. What happened? Because here we are. The flight was rescheduled. I'll start with you, Ambassador. What happened?
All right. So it's exactly as you laid it out. All the preparations were made. All the different, tests and so on were done by passengers on both sides. And yes, we were all there, ready to go. But as you know, in life and in these times, especially of COVID, there are things that just come up out of the blue, which we were not expecting and which took a lot of time to resolve. Mm-hmm. So we had these logistical issues which we were trying to work through, and they just couldn't be resolved in time for the flight to take off as scheduled. Because as you know, aircraft are allotted a particular amount of time to stay in the slot on the day. And so it just come up, you can't solve within a particular time frame. You have to vacate the slot. And this is what ultimately happened. And of course, we moved very swiftly to try to identify an alternative date as quickly as possible. But it turned out that it was going to be well into the following week that an alternative date could be identified, and that made the whole project not viable any longer. Because, of course, the moment we knew we couldn't fly again on the scheduled date, we had to now contemplate accommodating passengers and making sure that, we put other measures in place to take care of the people who were already on the ground. And so to wait for a whole week would have made the entire operation impossible. So, of course, we have been going through all that process now of bringing everything to a conclusion and then looking towards the future.
All right. So, Elizabeth, what were some of those issues that came up that made it impossible? Because here we are, we haven't made the flight. We're not in Nigeria, and the Nigerians aren't here on the ground in Jamaica. So what are some of those issues that you faced on the day?
Pretty much the disappointment factor. I mean, as the High Commissioner said, we were really sure that, in a good time would be done with whatever everybody was waiting on, the logistics part, the error that was in there before. All of it, we thought it could be done in a very short time. But by afternoon, we knew there was no way this thing could get sorted, and they said we had to vacate. So the biggest challenge for me was communicating that to people. I had to the airline had said give us 48 hours. Within 48 hours, would give you another, would rearrange it all. But they didn't, at that point, say subject to availability. So, heat of the moment, I just said to everybody, we would go on Thursday, and I checked everybody. I got a bus from our cost to get people from the airport to the hotel, check them in, till Thursday in our minds, waiting for the confirmed time from the airline, and then the next day the airline said, oh, Thursday not possible, it has to be next week. And right at the airport, we already lost a lot of passengers already. So waiting until next week, we knew we were going to lose more. So there was no way we could fly half the passengers in the next week.
Right, and we were also told we were told that on the ground here in Jamaica too, that all right, obviously the communication channel, through the communication channel, that looks like Thursday, it looks like Friday. But what we're not getting, Ambassador, High Commissioner, is, and I think our listeners want to know, is just to identify, because you mentioned the issues that caused, that necessitated the aircraft, that vacating its space then. It was scheduled to come to Jamaica. As Elizabeth is articulating, people were there. You had to bus people away from the airport, put them up and so on in hotels in Nigeria. So what were the main issues? Were you able to understand, or was it communicated to you as to what were the major issues? Were there airline issues, the logistics issues that you talked about? Were they directly related to the airline, or were they part of the organizational issues?
I would say it was pretty much the both. It was pretty much operational. It was pretty much what we missed as well. It was pretty much what they missed as well. But we had similar issues in December, and that was why we didn't come in at the right time. We came in much later. So when we realized this thing was not done yet, and it was done on the last time. The last time it was done really fast. So I was sure we'd still move even if we have any form of things we're waiting on for final goals, But as we said, things just didn't happen fast enough. And COVID times, even in Jamaica, there was a non-working day. They were working that day. I think it was mainly for us. So by the time, it was just it was a wrong day thing, it was a wrong time thing. I think it was all of that together. But as you said, we were meant to come in on Thursday to allow those in Jamaica to come in on Friday, but that couldn't happen. So we had to let people go. We had to check them out of the hotels from Friday. So I stayed out from Thursday, so I still kept to my word and kept people for 3 nights. People over there in Jamaica, it's going to be 6 days today. From Tuesday, I have been housing them in hotels, and I'm still bearing the cost of that because most came from Barbados, and there are no flights till Sunday to Barbados. So
and this is interesting because we didn't even know that on the ground here in Jamaica, that there are people who were going to be on the flight who had come in from Barbados and were here in Jamaica, and they are still here. Barbados, Grenada, where else?
St. Vincent as well, actually. St. Vincent, we had St. Vincent as well.
And this give us a pretty good idea of what a phenomenal feat that was we were about to pull off when you realized that people were coming in from the Caribbean, coming into Jamaica as a hub, and to board this historic flight to Nigeria. Ambassador, High Commissioner, we are still, and I can literally hear my listeners asking the question, and we don't want to leave them hanging. What were those issues that grounded the plane, that caused it not to have left Nigeria?
Well, as Elizabeth tried to explain, the airline was in communication with different players in the administrative structure, because you have to get all kinds of permits and route arrangements and so on. And so in the context of all the discussions going forward, even though many of the things are done in advance, but certainly on the given day, there were just those things which somehow did not come together as they should have. And so, in the process of working through all of the areas, the timing just could not allow for a resolution. Of course, with more days to plan, it would have been resolved. But you have to, in these things, act in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we have been saying, that we couldn't have those resolved, and that's why we had to result in a rescheduling.
All right. And so now, what is the way forward? Where do we go from here? Because obviously I know that with all these people who have booked, with the Barbadians and the Grenadians and the Vincentians who are on the island here in Jamaica, still being housed in hotels in Jamaica, and for us, the African Jamaicans who are making their way to Africa, they would have paid. So you have this logistics nightmare, I think, to refund. What is the process of refunding, and have you begun that?
We have begun the refund process on the Nigeria side. So thanks to the High Commissioner, he stepped in because, as you know, airlines don't refund till after 2 to 3 weeks. So he stepped in and we're able to get the refund really fast. So we've started refunding on the Nigerian side, but as you know, people that paid from the Jamaica side, they paid through our international portal. Right. So we have to send the money from the Nigerian side into our UK account and then get it dispersed to the Jamaica side. So the process is longer on that side. But those on the Nigerian side have been receiving their refunds. So before the middle of next week, all of the funds should be ready to be dispersed for the Jamaica side. So it's just the banking logistics that is delaying that side. I mean, those who paid by PayPal, for example, they've been refunded, But those who paid by the online payment portal, it has to go back in the reverse format.
Okay.
You understand? So those in Nigeria, definitely, and as you would appreciate, we had paid for hotels and everything to Jamaica, and none of that can be refunded, So thankfully, the hotels have been kind enough to put the rooms in credit for us for future use. So this means, for people who were on total packages, it's us now using our company funds to pay them for the package part because we can't access the accommodation. We can't access any of those funds. So it's really, a really difficult time for us, but we'll get through it.
Timing.
We have understanding people.
We have a saying in Jamaica, that if a disappointment is for a good, and because we understand the ancestral guidance context situation. I think majority of us, are dealing with it within that context because we understand that if we were to board that flight, we would have been on that flight. If it was to come from Nigeria, then it would have come because everything was done in the way that it was supposed to be done for that to happen. So timing, I think, is what was wrong for the ancestors and for the universe and for the space. So then, where do we go from here? Because we are saying that the flight has been rescheduled. So obviously you're back to strategizing. What is the next move, High Commissioner?
All right. Certainly, we are back to the drawing board, and we are going to ensure at the outset that in going forward, we build in additional contingency plans in place. And of course, we're not going to rush to get into the next timing, so the next date, for example, because of course we are mindful that when we spoke prior to the scheduled departure of the flight, there were many people in Jamaica, for example, and even further afield who wanted to be part of the flight, but they felt that they didn't have enough time. Advance notice.
Yes, true.
So in planning for the next set of flights, we will be committed to ensuring due notice is given on all sides.
Yes.
And of course, we will be communicating with all stakeholders well in advance to ensure that no stone is left unturned to identify where potential bottlenecks could arise. So definitely there are plans for more flights later in the year, and with certainly all the advance notice that can be made available.
All right. So we're still looking at this year. We're looking at later in the year. And as you said, the advance notices will be made. This is great. We will stand by for that. We're happy that, you're not dissuaded from continuing the path that you're on, because I think reconnecting Africa with the African diaspora within this period, I think is critical. And so a direct flight from the Caribbean, Jamaica being the hub, it's really a brilliant idea. So I congratulate you on that. And I really do hope that we're able to sort everything out and that we're able to do this before the year is out. Maybe 2 before the year is out. Who knows?
We certainly aim to have it before the year is out.
Before the end of the year. I mean, we spoke already, Kabu, and
Yes.
we already discussed about the great ideas you had for your people from the Jamaica side and how we would actually work together this time around. So it's not just
Exactly.
the few people who are available to travel that would be able to go. The wider people that you reach would be able to come along, but it's just a thing of us knowing that anything we're going for next, we have direct control.
Right.
That's the other challenge, when you don't have control of something because you are getting off someone, then it makes it difficult for you. You become a puppet. So I just need to make sure that I have control. We have control, and should any question get asked, we can answer properly because we're in control. We put a contingency in place.
Yes.
We've done it, we did in December and it went well, and we took it for face value, and we didn't think deeply into other things that could crop up. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So this time around, we just want to. I mean, I'm in Nigeria till September, so that's to let you know how committed I am to make sure I sort this before I leave. So definitely, we have great plans, Kabu. Other live things we plan to do. all of this is waiting for you right here in Nigeria,
And we are ready. We're ready and willing. Just say the word, and then we will definitely be on that flight. We're not going to allow ourselves to miss that flight, inshallah. Thank you so much, both. Thank you so much, Ambassador, Jamaica's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Esmond Reed. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, my sister. And we'll keep the dialogue going. We will be working together, and so we'll inform our listeners when the next flight is, and you'll be in Nigeria until September. For those persons who had connecting flights once they landed in Nigeria, have you had conversations with them? What's the situation there? Because I suppose that must be...
the people from the Barbados side and all.
I know there's a brother here in Jamaica, Brother Kimachi, had a connecting flight to Kenya, I think, or Ethiopia, and then to Tanzania. So that, I think...
He never went through with the booking. I think I remember his inquiry. He never went through with it because there was all of the visa thing, and he got discouraged.
Oh, he booked
the whole visa thing.
He did book.
Yes.
So but I think he booked through.
I remember.
You remember him, right? So he did book through a travel agency, though, not through Nigeria Travel. So if you didn't book through Nigerian Travel too, then what would you suggest?
For him to go through that route.
Okay.
Without us, he would need to have a U.S. visa and then fly Ethiopia from I don't know where their hub is in the U.S., maybe Washington or New York. So he would need to fly from there to Ghana. So
no, I'm not talking about the route. I'm talking about in terms of refunding for him, because he booked on the flight.
So this person booked for an agent. It depends on what portal they've booked from.
Okay.
If they booked online, I mean, I feel like I know everyone that made bookings. It was not a lot of people.
Yes.
So I might not know that name, but if anybody booked from online on the Jamaica side, if they booked on the online portal within a week, in less than a week from now, then the agent should have had the refund come through to them. Every booking done online within a week would have been refunded on the online portal. Any booking done way past a week, the money has to be physically put back in.
All right.
From Nigeria
Brilliant.
and India and India, because we don't
Brilliant.
access the muscle after 2 weeks.
Okay,
when
brilliant.
it goes in. You know, it takes a while, exactly. So someone like him needs to speak to his agent.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And we look forward to the flight. We look forward, Ambassador, to this historic flight. Thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you so much for arranging this, even though it fell through for now. But we look forward to the next one.
Thank you, Kabu.
Thank you for the support, and thank you to the listeners for believing in this venture, which we are confident is going to open up so many possibilities at so many levels, beyond just tourism and the ancestral connection, but certainly for business and other areas of cooperation.
Of course.
So it's a tremendous opportunity.
All right. Thank you both, His Excellency Esmond Reid and Elizabeth Agbola. Thank you both so much.